Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome into the KSL Stream Center. I'm Shara Park. Hey, happy April 1st. This is not an April Fool's joke. We do have this wonderful spring storm that is awesome. All right, Matt Johnson. I just say that with a little bit of a laugh because you say, I like it, because this is right up your alley, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is, I don't know. With the way fall and winter went, this is exactly what we want to see is late season storms continuing to bring the water. So we wish it was an April Fool's joke, but it's not.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke. I woke up and I looked out out my window in Sandy there, and snow was everywhere. And as much as we do love the weather, I'm not going to lie. I don't appreciate it. I'm sorry. I grew up in Utah. This is my hood, and I'm ready to move on. But Utah has said nope, we're not going to move on quite yet.
Yep.
But this is what we're known for these spring storms that continue to just pump out some of that moisture that we need. And I'm just going to roll with it. And so I want you to walk us through this. Before we do, though, Matt, I know I put you in the hot seat, but I have Heather Kelly that is standing by in our traffic center because we do have some traffic situations that are really causing some problems for us. So I've asked Heather to stand by for us. She's in the KSL traffic center, so I actually really want to go to her first. So Heather Kelly, thank you so much. We're going to turn it over to you real quick here because we do have some situations that are causing some major problems right now. So take it away for us real quick here. Where are these problems, especially when it comes to the canyons? That's my understanding, correct?
Well, Parley's Canyon has over an hour delay, but right now one of the worst issues is southbound I-15 in Spanish Fork. It's right before you get to the US 6 interchange. We have at least 7 vehicles involved in this crash, plus even more emergency vehicles on the scene. So they're blocking 2 right lanes of the freeway, only 1 left lane getting through. And right now we have a snowplow going through there trying to clear off that 1 lane. As you can see in the camera, snow is coming down so hard they can't even keep up with the snow. It just blankets the roadways as soon as the plow goes through. But that snow is affecting other areas. Like I said, all the canyons, like you said, chains or 4-wheel drive required for Big and Little Cottonwood canyons. And Parley's has just been a mess all morning. Jackknife semi trucks. I even watched a vehicle just stopped right in the middle of Parley's Canyon and lane because it couldn't go any further. The snow was so thick and they probably didn't have proper tires.
Okay, so Parley's right now. So right now this is US 6. We were looking at, this is I-84. We're switching through some of these cameras, but I want to go back to that. You said it was southbound I-15. This look right here, Spanish Fork. So 7 vehicles you said involved in this one?
At least that I can see on the camera view, 7 vehicles, but the way the camera is positioned, I think there may be a couple more outside of the camera view that we can't see. And then you had at least half a dozen emergency vehicles show up as well.
So Heather, has it been like, you've been here all morning, so has it been like this all morning on our roads?
All morning. It started in Utah County, actually in Springville, with probably 5 different crashes, both northbound and southbound. And then the snow hit Davis County, and we wound up with about 10 different crashes on I-15, Legacy Parkway, the West Side Belt. We also had crashes with cars facing backwards, like they crash, they hit, or they spin out, and they're either facing backwards in the lane of traffic or they've just slid all the way off the freeway into barriers. So it's been kind of an epic drive for people this morning.
Shoot, we hate to see that. You really do. You hate to see that, the situation this morning. We've reached out to UHP. We're hoping to have them join us here this morning. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center. We know mornings like this are tough for you guys, that you are constantly checking these cameras, getting the information out there on the roads. We appreciate your effort and taking a moment to join us as well. But we encourage folks, if you're headed out on the roads this morning, to listen to KSL News Radio. Heather will keep you up to date on all those situations on the roads. But again, the canyons, you said about an hour in Parley's. That's the delay there?
An hour in Parley's, both directions.
Both directions. Okay, Heather Kelly, thank you so much. We appreciate your time, Heather. Okay, let's
Thank
turn
you,
it back over to Matt Johnson. Matt, let's bring you back into the conversation. Okay, I got up this morning thinking my daughter will have a soccer game outside. A little concerned as mom here, thinking I'm going to be sitting in an igloo watching her soccer game.
Yep.
So Matt, give me the news.
Yep.
Give me the forecast. What are we looking at today? I thought by now that we would perhaps be tapering out on this situation. So what are we looking at? Give me kind of the steps throughout the day, what we're going to see from this.
Yeah, so these snow showers are going to be tapering off. You can see radar right there already showing the brunt of it starting to kind of fade, and basically it's going to be a lot more spotty. It's going to be a lot more scattered snow shower activity through the day. In fact, it's going to be warm enough that we'll probably see some raindrops within those snow showers, so I'm calling it a rain-snow mix scattered shower event today. A lot of words, but it really paints the picture for what we're expecting. We've kind of had a persistent area of snow, mainly Salt Lake City north, but as you saw there, Spanish Fork having trouble too. But the really persistent snow has been Tooele Valley, Salt Lake Valley, and points northward. What we're going to see now is the lake kind of shut things off a little bit, or so we'll see them fade. The lake won't be supporting these snow showers as much, and so we'll see daytime heating help to destabilize the atmosphere again, and voila, more scattered rain snow showers in the afternoon. But again, more widely scattered compared to what we've seen this morning. So some silver lining there, but definitely some wet weather still to be had later today.
Okay, when we pull up some of these traffic cameras, Matt, what are we seeing? Is this lake effect? Is that more lake effect? Because when I came in on I-15, we're talking those big fluffy flakes on I-15. This is, okay, that was Parley's Canyon you saw there. Depends on the different kind of cameras we pull up, what you're able to actually see on the roads. But if I'm looking out our cameras here in downtown Salt Lake City, or in our windows in downtown Salt Lake City, it's the pretty stuff. Like it's falling very nice and pretty right now. That looks like lake effect coming down outside. Am I wrong? This looks like stuff that's not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, it's these snow showers are definitely being enhanced by the lake. A true lake effect band would be a lot heavier, believe it or not. It would put down 1 to 6 inches in about an hour and a half. These are what we call lake enhanced snow showers if we wanted to get technical. But what's happening is we're getting the cold front swept through last night, and now we've got unstable, moist northwest flow. When you get cold air working over the lake, you'll notice a lot of these snow showers, or at least towards the tail end of that loop there, you're seeing some snow showers pop up off the lake. So what's happening is the cold air is running over that relatively warmer lake area, which has a lot of water vapor to provide, and so you get extra lift, and it just keeps these showers going. And we're notorious for this here in Utah with that Great Salt Lake, on a smaller scale compared to what happens in the Great Lakes, right? They get way bigger lake effect snow events. But this is a low-end event, but it's definitely, April 1st, and so I think folks are definitely weren't expecting the impact that we had this morning. But yeah, definitely some lingering snow showers there. The big fat flakes is because the temperature's right around 32. Whenever you get that, the flakes will actually coalesce. They'll actually connect with each other. And so what you're actually seeing is these big fat flakes are multiple flakes that have actually stuck together.
They came together.
Mm-hmm.
They became friends.
Yes, on our behalf.
On our behalf. This makes me sad here. Okay, looking at this crash, this is what Heather was talking about in Spanish Fork, southbound I-15 in the Spanish Fork area. She, I mean, just counting there, she was looking at least 7 different vehicles, possibly 7. This is what we reached out to Utah Highway Patrol about. They were hoping they could join us. They said they were a little busy right now, obviously, with these different crashes involved here. Possibly 7 different vehicles involved in this. Very slick conditions depending on where you're at. So again, my commute into Salt Lake City, I was coming just from kind of point of the mountain area, really wet on the roads, but then that turned into snow on the roads as I got closer to Salt Lake City. Man, I was kind of, I'm not going to lie, a little surprised. You warned us. It wasn't like I was completely caught off guard.
Right.
You warned us we were going to have this storm coming in. I think what really just kind of took me by surprise was that I just expected it to kind of be done by now. I just kind of expected it to kind of pewter out by now.
Yeah, or even melt on contact.
Yeah.
And we have had sections of the freeway and side streets where it just melts on contact. But that's what's made it so dangerous this morning, I think, is we're getting these pockets of heavier snow, right, embedded within the showers that are moving in. And so you'll get a section of freeway where it's just wet, and then all of a sudden you run into snow-packed road because it's just been pockets of heavier snow. The heavier the snow rate, the more accumulation you get on the roadway, even if it's following a warm spring day. Yesterday we were up in the low 60s. But since we've had some persistent snow, we've cooled the ground temperature, we've actually increased the rate of snow falling in some areas. And so that's just really kind of made for, a messy event. Imagine you're on I-15. Oh, it's just wet roads. I got snow coming down. And then boom, you're going 60, 75 miles an hour, and you hit an area with snow slush or snow packed, and you're sliding, So that's kind of what's contributed to the crashes this morning is the inconsistency in road conditions along the freeway.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot. Take me top of the state down. Can you do that for me with what our day's going to look like?
Yeah, so for the northern half, we've got this lake-enhanced snow shower activity that's coming in off the Great Salt Lake, mainly confined to south and east of the lake, and that will then break up, but then we'll continue to see some pop-up rain snow showers in the afternoon. Down in central and southern Utah, with the daytime heating that we're seeing, we'll likely see extra lift, almost like a summertime deal, right? In the afternoon, we wait for that heating to get the thunderstorms going. It'll be a similar setup, just not as strong, not as much lift. And so we won't really get strong thunderstorms like a monsoon today, but we will see those showers bubble up because of the extra lift that the sun can cause, right? And so I think that's what we'll see into the afternoon statewide, including portions of eastern Utah. It's more kind of a statewide deal this afternoon. When we get that peak heating, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, we'll likely see some rain snow showers kind of pop up across the map.
All right, Matt Johnson. I'm feeling like I need to forgive you. It's not your fault.
Hey,
it's not your fault.
It's Mother Nature's. It's April Fool's, right?
I don't know. It's April Fool's. But what's so funny is this morning I woke up and I'm like, am I supposed to wear green today? Like, am I supposed to be pinched today? Is that this holiday?
I think it's backward. I think only fools think it's April today, right? It's acting more like January, but that's Utah.
It's one of those questions I have, but I feel like you're supposed to throw like the almanac at me. Like historically, have you been looking into the numbers this morning, like where we sit? Is that a smart question to ask you today?
Oh, no, it's a great question. I mean, we just got done with what we're calling Miracle March, where we picked up 145 inches of snow up at Alta. We're now inching up on 500 inches on the season up there. Snowpack in northern Utah sitting right around 100%, so that's great. And as far as, snow like this, I would expect a couple more events where we could see snow on the ground. Last year, we had snow. We had snow on the valley floor with a quick-moving storm in mid-May, and so it's not out of the question. Latest snowfall ever recorded in Salt Lake was June 6th.
What?
Granted, that was the early
When?
1900s. In the early 1900s, the latest snowfall ever recorded was June 6th. So.
Okay.
But as we well know, right, we typically plant our gardens right around Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And so that's when we typically expect the snow to really shut off. So we still have the whole month of April where we can still see some snow showers.
When we talk about our ski season here in Utah, we had a couple, you and I were talking about this on the noon show yesterday. We have a couple resorts that are planning to wrap up. Was it this week?
Yeah. Was it April 6th?
Who was it?
No,
Do you
April
remember
4th.
who it was?
I believe Beaver Mountain.
There was somebody. It was somebody this week.
Sundance. Yeah, those. I know Beaver Mountain and Sundance for sure closed this week.
I was like, maybe don't misquote that because we don't want to make.
No,
anybody mad.
it's true. Yeah.
But typically, I mean, this is what these resorts are hoping for, right? They want those late storms kind of stretch out their season to try to make as much money as possible late in the season, especially when we had such a rough start to the season.
Oh, I know.
It really was. It was kind of a rough start for some of those resorts.
It was really slow. Somehow we were able to open up on time, but through most of the season, December and January, it was not great snow conditions, minimal coverage, scraping rocks and logs and whatnot.
Yeah.
But February and March have really delivered.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to look at some of these comments. Some of these folks who are weighing in on our Facebook page. Leslie here says, this is why we don't plant before Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Happy April 1st.
She knows.
Leslie, you're so right. Anybody who's got some photos, we'd love to hear what this is looking like in your neck of the woods. So if you've got any questions for Matt Johnson. Matt, are you a gardener? I don't even know.
Funny you ask. I actually spent most of my, probably age 10 through 20 in gardening quite a bit.
Are you really?
I really liked it. I really liked following.
Do you plant? I'm just curious. What do you plant?
Well, I grew up in California, so I grow lettuce, carrots, all the winter garden stuff. Peas.
Does your wife know this
Broccoli.
about you?
She does. We just don't have any land.
Okay.
I'm in a condo, so
All
I don't
right,
have
Shelby,
anything.
if you're watching, I want to see what this guy comes up with.
Yeah, we need some land.
Bring in the vegetables. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so Leslie here, that's a good little point here.
Yep.
But if you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and post your photos. We'd like to see what you got in your area. I mean, do you have the snow that we're seeing here in Parley's Summit? I know in my house, at my house in the Sandy area, we've got at least kind of like about an inch, maybe half an inch of snow on the ground right now. I was looking at my neighbor's yard. They have those cute little tulips that came up, and they're covered right now, just covered. And I feel so sad for them, but they'll be fine. Let's see who else. Darlene says spring is coming down. But anyway, weigh in. If you've got snow in your area, maybe you just got rain. If you've got something else, we'd love to see your photos. If you've got some beautiful spring photos with Utah's April 1st spring version, we'd like to see what that looks like in your area. Or just, if maybe you got nothing,
Yeah, let us know. Report it in.
Yeah, send it in. We'd love to see your photos. I know we have some photos coming in right now from the Capitol. We had another photo coming in. Somebody said they sent some photos down from the Y down in Provo. We'll get some of those shared on our Facebook page as well. But just seeing some different photos coming in. It's always interesting when we get these late, or not. Would you call this a late spring storm? This is an early spring storm.
Early spring, yeah.
This is typical.
It's This is pretty standard for April. Once we get into May, we can start saying, okay, now all right, be done.
So you're saying I can't complain about this
Nope,
yet?
nope. You don't have the green card just yet.
I feel like as a Utahn, I don't know if I have a right to complain, but
yeah.
The older I get, the more I complain. That's a typical Utahn. How about that?
Yeah.
That's a typical Utahn.
Yeah, we want our warm weather.
We want our warm weather. Okay. All right. For all you other soccer moms out there, anybody who has T-ball today, anyone else out there who has a sport that they're wondering, am I going to be able to make it to that sport tonight? Bottom line, Matt Johnson, are the fields going to clear by 5 o'clock?
You should be good to go. We'll get that.
I kind of wanted you to say no.
Oh, really? Well, if you're playing baseball, the grass is probably still going to be wet. I don't know if baseball is going to happen. Soccer, though, I feel like they're more.
We play through everything with soccer.
Yeah, it's like football. So I don't know if I can give you a pass on the soccer. So.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang it. All right.
But it'll be wet grass. It'll be slippery for the kids. Maybe be careful there.
Layer up, everyone.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. Okay, let's see if our UHP folks, let me check in. I know we're efforting UHP to join us to see what else is happening out there on the roads. I'm going to check in. Hold on one second. Let's see if they're able to join us here. I feel bad. We've got a lot that's been happening on our roads. We saw that Spanish Fork situation. Anything else you can tell us, Matt Johnson, about the roads before I let you out of the hot seat there?
Well, I would say with these scattered rain snow showers that are going to pop up this afternoon, just be aware, right? If you're on the freeway or you're traveling at a pretty quick rate or on a road that allows you to travel fast, just know that if you see a snow shower in the area, just plan on slowing down if you hit it. Maybe it's just wet roads or maybe it's going to be snowpacked. It's going to be that deal where you have these spotty showers. And if you encounter a portion of the freeway that's getting impacted, you might not have that time to slow down from 70 to 40 or 50 that you should be going in snowy conditions. So just a heads up on that.
Okay, Matt Johnson. Hey, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it. We know this is a big day for you guys, especially April 1st here as this early spring storm continues to bring a lot of moisture here to the state of Utah. Of course, we need that, especially as we started off very late in the season with as much snow as we needed here in the state to fill up our reservoirs and just to get the moisture that we need here in the state of Utah. All right, Matt Johnson, you did good in the hot seat.
All right.
We'll let you get on your way. Thank you so much. He's so good. I give him such a hard time when we have days like this, but we need it here in Utah. All right, we're going to flip through some of these cameras. I'm going to give UHP a few more minutes here to hopefully join us. Like I said, they have been so busy out there on the roads, but they've been so good to be able to join us here in the KSL Stream Center when they have the chance to be able to do that. And I know that they're efforting that time to be able to join us. So as we look through some of these cameras here, we heard from Heather Kelly just about 10-15 minutes ago when she joined us from the KSL Traffic Center. An hour delay coming through Parley's Canyon, both directions, she said, because of the crashes that we have seen in Parley's Canyon. We're looking at Spanish Fork right now on I-15. That's that multi-car pileup. She said at one point they were looking at least 7 different vehicles involved in that crash as well. We do not know the extent of injuries involved in that one, and so we're trying to figure out more on that situation. So hopefully just very minor. We don't know, but we will try to find out. This is I-15 northbound 400 south. Looks like we have some backup in that area. I don't know if that's a residual from that, but it looks like mostly just wet roads in that area. Let's see what other cameras we have that we can look at. Looks like this is in the Murray area. We've got some cars off to the left there. It looks like we have some residual delays kind of going past the cars in that area. Still wet roads. So depending on where you're at, let us know if you can. We've got comments being posted. If you can, let us know what it looks like in your area. If you got snow, maybe you just got rain in your area as well. Again, we were warned by our meteorologist what was going to be happening here. Oh, let's take a look at this camera. Wow, this is I-80 eastbound. We've got a lot of, you can see here. I wish I was like pointing at the camera thinking that you could see me pointing, but that snow is sticking to the ground right in that area. So, all right, we're gonna shuffle through some of these cameras here. We'll keep it up live just for the time being. I'm not gonna necessarily shut off this live stream, but we'll give it a break here. I'm gonna reach out to UHP, see just how much time they need before they can join us here again. Or join us and give us an update on these different traffic situations that they're dealing with, and then we'll come back on. So I'm just going to let this stay up live. We'll shuffle through some of these cameras. I'm going to go check in with Heather Kelly in the traffic center again to see if there's anything we need to relay to you as well. But hang tight. Stay with us here for just a few minutes. I will circle back with you. So don't go anywhere. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment. I'll look at some of those, and then I'll be back with you in just a few minutes. All right, everybody, welcome back over. Okay, we're going to do one more roundup of what's happening out there on the roads. Hoping we can get UHP to join us here. I know they're super busy out on the roads. They're trying to join us if they can get a quick break here and give us an update on their traffic situation if they can. We understand if they can't, but we do have Heather Kelly from the Traffic Center. She is with us to give us an update. We do have some other new traffic situations that have occurred since the last time we talked to Heather Kelly. So Heather jumped over here from the KSL Traffic Center. Heather, thank you very much. We appreciate it. What is the very latest development? We pulled it up on our screen here. Walk us through what's happening with this one.
Yeah, this was a crash. At least 3 vehicles involved that I can see. One of them was facing completely backwards. This is on the west side belt, I-215 northbound at the 201 freeway interchange. So 2 left lanes and the left shoulder blocked here. So you have 2 right lanes open, but traffic was backed up to 3500 south at one point on the west side belt.
On the west side belt. Okay. Yeah. Any clue? Did it look like we just had somebody spin out into the median there? Do we have any idea?
You know, whenever we have rain or snow or a combination of both, if people have bad tread on their tires and don't realize it, and they're going even 2 or 3 miles too fast over, what they should be, they're going to spin out. So we always tell people, you are driving too fast for the road conditions. And it doesn't matter how good of a driver you are if your tires aren't equipped to handle it at this point because of lack of tread, you're going to slide out.
Yeah. Okay. This is, most people hear your voice, Heather, when they're in their cars on the road. It's not often we get to have you over here on the TV side of things, or in this case on the streaming side of things. So we appreciate your time. This is another situation here we've been talking about all morning, and specifically over on the radio side you have down in Spanish Fork. Now we're seeing it, the visual side of things here. Walk us through what you know about this situation.
This one, just from the camera angle, I could count 10 vehicles that were involved in this one, including some semi-trucks, some construction vehicles. Mostly they were SUVs or sedans, but about 10 of them. And then you had at least half a dozen emergency vehicles show up at one point. Now, they have cleaned up some of these cars, but you still have right lane and shoulder blocks southbound I-15 right before the US 6 interchange in Spanish Fork. But because they had 2 right lanes blocked for such a long time, traffic is at a crawl. I mean, it's barely moving, and it's backed up before the 400 South exit in Springville.
Wow. Okay. And then this is that residual, right?
Yes.
Okay. And how long? What's the delay factor in this?
Probably that one, you're probably going to have to add a good 15 to 20 minutes minimum to go southbound. But they did just reopen one of the lanes. So hopefully that will improve the flow a little bit. But yeah, you've got a couple of miles that you're barely moving.
Any idea, Heather, what time that one happened? And
that one was about an hour to an hour and a half ago, southbound 15 in Spanish Fork. But because you had, 10 vehicles, it's taking time to clean them all up. But at least you've got 2 left lanes open now, because before there was only 1 left lane that was open for over an hour.
I know you really just look at the traffic side of things. Anything we've heard coming from our assignment desk here in the newsroom in terms of anything injuries involved in that one?
Not in that one, but we had a very serious crash earlier this morning on California Avenue, right about 50th West. They had to close California Avenue for a while. That was a critical injury. I haven't heard much more about that since then. Most of these appear to be either minor or moderate injuries that we're hearing of. We've had about 70 to 75 crashes this morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Usually we see those kind of numbers when we have such a heavy storm where we're seeing snow-packed roads, not necessarily wet roads, but snow-packed roads. Those are high numbers.
Yeah, they are. And the problem is that it's basically these waves, these bands of lake effect snow that affect different areas. So some of the roadways were just barely damp. Some were wet because it was sort of a rain-snow mix, didn't really stick to the roadway. And then other areas like Spanish Fork, it just hit the road and just stuck and froze. And then people were driving again. They thought, it's just a little bit wet. And then they hit snow or ice. Parley's Canyon was a mess for, a good 3-4 hours earlier.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Okay, So we talked about Spanish Fork. We've talked about the West Bell 201 where we've had that new crash. So where do we stand with Parley's Canyon?
That one is looking much better. It's going to take you now about 20 to 25-ish minutes to go either eastbound or westbound, but you still have waves of snow going through there. So that could reduce your visibility a bit. But it looks like all the crashes and slide-offs and jackknife semis have been cleared through Parley's.
Okay. Any chains required, 4x4 type stuff that we're hearing in the UDOT alerts?
Big and Little Cottonwood Canyon require chains or four-wheel drive, but the other canyons have been traction-free or not requiring any traction devices.
Okay. All right, Heather Kelly, you have been on it all morning long. What time does your shift start when it comes to something like this?
I come in at just about 4:30 in the morning.
Wow.
So and I walked into a good 4 or 5 crashes already at 4:30 this morning, and they have not stopped. They've just again up to 70 just in about a 5-hour span.
Wow, it's been a busy morning.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other areas that you'd like to make everyone aware of in terms of what they need to know before they head out on the roads for the afternoon?
I think if it looks damp or just wet, just slow down your speeds, because if you haven't checked your tires, it doesn't matter how good of a driver you are. Your tires are like, I don't care. I don't have enough traction. I'm going to spin you out.
Okay. Heather Kelly from the KSL Traffic Center. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We appreciate you stepping over here. We do have UHP on the line now. They're ready to join us. Heather, we're going to let you go. We're going to slide over here. We've got Lieutenant Cameron Roden from Utah Highway Patrol. Cameron, thank you so much. We know that you have been standing by for us. I'm going to have you flip your screen for us. You know the drill. All right, here he is. Cameron, thank you, my friend. Appreciate your time. We know you have been extra busy out there on the roads today. First of all, kind of give me your overall arching thought of what has been happening out there, what you guys have been seeing, what your troopers have been dealing with out there this morning, April 1st, on this early spring storm.
The storms come in waves today, so with all the different bands moving through, we'll get a series of crashes where we'll have to get all these crashes cleared out. Then it tends to go away and things tend to improve, but then another band of snow moves in and we get a lot more crashes. We've investigated close to 90 crashes so far for this morning, so a very busy morning. We do have extra resources out there that are helping to get these crashes cleared out as quickly as possible, but we anticipate that this is going to be similar all throughout the day today. So just good things for people to plan ahead, know that the conditions are slick out here, and they can make the adjustments necessary.
Okay, let's start with this biggest one that we've been talking about so far, this pile up down in Spanish Fork. I had Heather Kelly from the KSL Traffic Center join us. She was counting upwards of 10 vehicles. Is that correct? Take me from the top down. What do we know about this?
So this is the semi that is gone into the barrier. There are multiple crashes in this area. Nothing with any serious injuries that I'm aware of, but it is blocking lanes. So as you can see from the cameras, it is causing some serious delays. If you're able to use alternate routes coming through this area, it will help. But just be patient in this area that is going to be slow for a little while.
So that's good to know. No serious injuries as far as you know?
Correct. No serious injuries that have been reported.
Okay, but it started with a semi, but then multiple cars piling up behind it.
Correct. There are, multiple crashes in this area. So this crash, there is quite a few that are in this area, but it looks like right now that there are multiple crashes that are right there in the same area. I don't believe that they're investigating. I don't believe that we got all of these vehicles in the one crash. I believe it's multiple crashes.
Okay, so not necessarily all together, but perhaps multiple, just kind of going down the line here. Okay.
Correct.
Well,
They are still working on putting all those pieces together.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. And this is this is that Spanish Fork area, and what we're seeing here in this camera is residual delays as a result of that. Okay.
Correct.
We've also at one point we had some major issues in Parley's Canyon. We were looking at an hour delay in both directions this morning. What was happening in Parley's Canyon, and did we have multiple crashes? One major crash? What happened up there?
So there were some crashes, but some of the issues we were having up there is we had some vehicles just getting stuck in the snow. So in order to get them out, it was they were blocking lanes. Some of them are semis, so it did take a little while to get get UDOT through the area, get those lanes cleared, get those vehicles moving, and also get those crashes cleared as well.
Okay. Any major injuries?
No major injuries from any of the. Again, a lot of crashes, but nothing that's been any serious or life-threatening injuries.
That's great news. So no fatalities as of this morning with anything weather related.
Correct.
That is so great to hear because that's not often we have a case like that.
Yeah. Just people are going to be out and traveling around today. Make sure to check the roadways that you're going to be traveling on because they are going to be at times snow packed and slick. There may be some significant delays, so you can avoid a lot of those if you can delay your travel or potentially take a different route.
Okay, Lieutenant Roden, any other major areas where we're seeing some problems? We know we had another crash just pop up on westbound 201, the interchange over there. Any other trouble spots? That's a crash right there I'm talking about. Any other trouble spots currently at this moment that we're seeing some major problems with?
So we have quite a few going on in Utah County right now. There's probably about 8 to 10 crashes in Utah County. And that's more towards that Spanish Fork area. But then Salt Lake County, there we have several going on here. The Wasatch Front is our hardest hit area as far as the state of Utah goes. But again, this storm has been definitely kind of different as it moves through in waves. So that kind of changes where we have our problem areas. Those areas are impacted by the storm.
Okay. Lieutenant Roden, you and we often talk when it comes to these storms and what it is that catches drivers off guard. You've worked in this state for a very, very long time. I've lived here. We've all driven this state. What is it that tends to get drivers into these situations? Is it simply just driving too fast for the conditions? Is it not having the proper tire condition? What is it as a trooper that you could tell a driver walking away after a day like today? What would be the warning? What would be the advice that somebody could do today to be better in a situation after today?
Yeah, it's a combination of a lot of those factors. We tend to drive in the snow like we drive when it's dry, and we can't do that. We have to adjust to the conditions we're facing right then. So that means we're slowing down. We're giving ourselves more distance between us and the vehicle in front of us in case we have to stop suddenly. We're also just checking for anything that could potentially cause a crash. If you can go around, if you have bald tires, definitely these are not the kind of conditions that you want to go out in. But also distractions too. We limit any type of distractions and make sure we're focused on driving.
Okay. One question I wanted to ask you, and I know you and I talk about it, but I'd like to talk about it with folks who are watching here today. If you are in a crash, Cameron, what do you do? Because I want your troopers to be safe and I want to be safe.
Right. And that's our priority too, is keeping the public safe, but keeping our troopers safe as well. If you are involved in a crash, you're not, no injuries, your vehicle is operable and able to move that vehicle out of traffic. It's much safer. You can move to the off ramp. You can even move down to a surface street and then call law enforcement to come and investigate that crash. It's much safer for us to do it off the freeway. But it's also safer for you to get to a safe place because a lot of times we have vehicles coming up behind that aren't aware of the situation. They lose control and crash into the vehicles that are already crashed, just compounding that problem and making it worse. But a lot of times we have to handle these crashes on the freeway because of disabled vehicles or injuries. Make sure you're slowing down for those crash responders who have to be up there in that dangerous situation. It is very slick in those spots. We've already had a problem there, and the last thing we need is a car to lose control and then make that crash scene even worse.
Yeah, that's what I always feel bad for folks when they think they need to get out and look at the scene at the moment. You don't need to. Stay in your car.
Yeah,
Drive off the
the
road.
safest. Yeah, if you can move off, great. But the safest place for you to be, regardless, is going to be in your vehicle with your seatbelt on.
That's right. That's right. All right, Lieutenant Roden, I appreciate it. I know you're busy. I was hounding you to see if you could jump on and let us know what was happening with all these crashes, and I appreciate your time. So we'll let you get back on your way. Thank you very much.
Glad to do it.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for your time. Hopefully, we've given you some information that'll help you with your day. as you prepare to continue to tackle this spring storm. However, it is impacting you in your area today. We will continue this discussion over on KSL 5 News at noon in just about an hour now. So hopefully you can join us over there. We'll update you on any of these delays that are impacting you in your area, especially what's happening down in that Spanish Fork, in that Springville area. But again, that was some good news to hear that there were no serious injuries. There was a semi that had a crash there, and then there were some residual crashes that were all involved, but no major injuries. That was good to hear that from Lieutenant Cameron Roden, and that again the situation up in Parley's, when we heard that from Heather Kelly today, we heard those major delays there, but no serious injuries with any of the crashes from today. So we like to hear that. Hate to hear any crashes involved, but we definitely don't want to hear any critical injuries from any of those crashes. So, all right, be safe on the road, the roads out there today, and we'll see you over on KSL 5 News at noon. Thanks for joining us here in the KSL Stream Center.